We're recording. Wonderful.
So you were overseas or you were here?
There was a stamp exhibition in England, but I came back. It's good. It's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Can we start? First of all, I have to apologize. Last week, I stopped abruptly because I didn't realize the end came. So abruptly it was stopped. I didn't even say good night and good evening and thank you, whatever. So my
We have
apologies.
to blame Reuven because he's the what's it, a clock watcher.
Clock watcher.
Ruben, just remind 5 minutes before the end.
Yeah,
that
that will.
at least I can say nicely to wish you good night or good walk, whatever it is, not to get just
Arav, just while you're on that subject, the Thursday night share, it's Lag BaOmer on Thursday night.
Lag BaOmer. So what do? You're going to have
So I don't know if you want to carry on with the share or not.
Fire. You're going to have fireworks.
Maybe, I don't know.
Here in Telston, it's already, I think, from Pesach. The kids
They get organized, yeah.
collect wood to make a big bonfire on Thursday night, Lag BaOmer.
Yeah.
Interesting. I remember when I was a child living in Tel Aviv, so it wasn't a religious neighborhood, but we lived together nicely. I had friends who didn't come from religious home and so on. We were playing together. But when it came Lag BaOmer, everybody was there participating, brings whatever they contributes, the wood. It's interesting. Lag BaOmer, okay, because it is in the religious side, of course, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has got a very high standard. Beside, he was a Tana of the Mishnah, but of course, as you know, he was the one that preached the Kabbalah and the mystery literature. And therefore, he got such a name. You remember what happened 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
In Meron. Yeah.
About 45 people killed there with the stupidness. Now, in the radio, they sure that it won't happen again, and there are more. They actually broadened the whole neighborhood there, etc. I hope that he will go without any problems. But they say that during the night, I think they expect about 100,000 people.
Wow.
In different, you are not allowed to be there by the grave more than 5 minutes. You get a ticket. First of all, you buy whatever. You can't come with the private car. You can only come by bus, so you pay the bus fare back and forth to come back with the bus in order not to have private, so they will have a control about the people that come. So let's hope that, but generally in history, Shimon Bar Yochai, beside the man what is known Kabbalistic, first of all, he was a Tana of the Mishnah, a very important one. And in history, There is a story that he was one that he shows, what do you say? He was against the government. Who was it? The Romans or the Greeks, whatever it is, that they were actually looking for him. And there's known the story that he was hiding in a cave there according to the tradition, in the cave in Meron, where he's actually buried. He was there, 13 years, I think, with his son, study 13 years there, and he was nourished by something that grew there. It's some miraculous thing. Anyhow, people are coming from overseas just to be like Baomer, to be in Meron. So let us hope that he will be a good advocate for all of us in his yard, and that we should see only hear good things. In the meantime, of course, the heart is bleeding to see every day to hear people are killed, wounded, and the soldiers are there, and unbelievable. On the other hand, you see the split between the left and right and so on. Unfortunately, this is what the situation is. Okay, this was enough to talk about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Lag BaOmer and Meron. Tonight we counted 31 days.
Yeah, 31.
Very much.
4 weeks and 3 days.
Yeah.
LaOmer. We are in Mishlei, of course, chapter 17. And we at verse 10. The humility caused by the rebuke of an understanding person is more effective than 100 blows to a fool. The message is very, very clear that you can have influence more by showing concern and understanding. By rebuke, you show that you are caring for the person, then the rebuke, and you speak to him nicely to explain to him he change the ways. And this is more effective than a person using blows to a fool, using hand power is not going to do much. On the contrary. So the heart of an understanding person, a rebuke cast from an understanding person, is more than the fool quakes from 100 blows. Of course, our rabbis tell us when you rebuke somebody, there is a way how to do it. Sometimes the rebuke can be caused more harm and hatred. So one of the Tanaim, which I don't remember his name, said, I actually how to find a person that knows how to rebuke. It's not so simple. You can come harshly on a person, then of course this is like hitting 100 blows, but you have to know how to rebuke with sensitivity to show that you actually care and you just not come hard on the person. Number 11. He who is only rebellious seeks evil, and a cruel angel shall be sent against him. If it, talking about, Rashi says, if a person is all the time quarrels, rebels, and if he's rebellious, it's obviously is not going to produce any kind of good and love. So this can be a recipe how to handle other people. However, one commentator, he puts it that this is the question, talking about the relation, the person with God. I'll read to you. He whose every word is intended only to rebel against Hashem, in effect seeks evil for himself in this world. In other words, he only looks for trouble if he is rebellious against Hashem, which the result will be that he will be judged, as it says, he will be judged by a cruel angel shall be sent against him. There is another Ben Ezra. He says rebellious person seeks evil in which way? To the extent that no rebuke is effective upon him. So the only end will be that he will die and with his rebelliousness. We continue to number 2 at 12. May bereaving bear encounter a person rather than a fool with folly. Shlomo Melech doesn't like the fools, right? It's better to stand in and to encounter a bear which is angry rather than one to encounter a fool. The Rashi says a little bit more. They're talking about that in talking about to encounter an idol worshipper, which will entice him to do the wrong things. So rather they have like to stand being in danger, to stand up against a bear, a stubborn, to rebel, no, not to stand against, to deal with this bear, rather than to have the dealings with a foolish person who may entice him to worship idols.
Yeah, but I Rav, a she bear is after it loses its young, is very violent, very angry.
Yeah,
So
the bear,
the bear, according to the translation, when the bear loses its young, it becomes very, very violent. So how do you reconcile that? Then the fool with his nonsense. The fool with his nonsense is not violent. Right, he talks to you, but I mean, it's not going to harm you. Whereas a bereaved she bear is so angry it could kill you.
so the Torah said, but although there is a danger physically by the bear, but it is better then to have to know to encounter a person who spiritually will kill him.
Okay.
He will entice him to sin. And now we are talking about Shlomo Melech says, yes, it's true that you can encounter danger, physical danger, but worse is to encounter a spiritual danger, an influence which might take you out of the right way. The next one, evil replaces evil for good. Evil will not depart from his house. And in other words, a person is ungrateful, and if somebody does not appreciate somebody that does good with him, he doesn't show appreciation for it. So he said, evil will not depart from his house could mean as a punishment, or that simply if he's ungrateful and he doesn't appreciate if somebody does good with him, nobody will actually would try to help him in time of trouble. Nobody will want to have anything to do with him. So either talking about the punishment that comes from heaven, or simply the nature of a person. If you don't show gratitude, then even when you're in trouble, who is going to help you? This, I think, simple. 14. The beginning of strife is like letting out water. And before you are exposed, abandon the quarrel. This is a simple, good advice. If you start a quarrel, so you like opening and opening in a wall, that the water means the strife, the quarrel continues. So in the beginning, you think, yeah, you just make a joke, so start. He said, don't be so sure that this is going to finish, because if you not stopping it in good time, then the quarrel only becomes worse. Exactly, water, if you open the pipe or in the wall, like a hole, when water is running, obviously when you open the hole in the wall, then there's nothing to stop it. So what is the best? Don't start any quarrel, and if you already see that there is now a strife, just finish and get out in good time. Yeah. Number 15. He who vindicates the wicked and condemns the righteous, both are abomination to Hashem. Well, I don't think there is a need to say something. But, one commentator says that even if merely with words, it's an abomination if he vindicates the wicked. So you better obviously praise. This is what you have to do, to praise the righteous and not to vindicate the wicked. 16. Why there a price in the fool's hand to buy wisdom, when the heart is not here? I think it's like a kind of a mockery here. You prepared, you prepared to price a fool is prepared to price to pay a price to buy wisdom. But if your heart is not there, then obviously whatever it seems to be that you are seeking wisdom, it's only empty thing, because if your heart is not there, you don't mean to do that, to get what you are talking about. It is only you, as he says, why does a fool bring tuition money to the teachers? Of what will it avail him? He doesn't possess the intelligence to scrap intellectual matters. So you must, when you invest in money, in education, to learn something and so on, you must have the desire to learn, and not just the fact that you are spending money to show that as if you really want to learn. You need to have the heart. It's not enough just to show as external thing. If you're actually not serious, you don't mean it. 17. At all times, love a friend, for he's born a brother for adversity. So, talking about how to appreciate a good friend, which can be sometimes better than a brother. And I see one of the commentaries says, the contrast between a friend and a brother. At all time, one loves his friend, but a brother loved at the time that adversary is born. So in this, he puts it a little bit, not only that a brother is like a friend, a good friend is like a brother. He actually, this commentator wants to say that a friend, good friend can be more than a brother, because yes, the brother will come to help you. He will demonstrate his love in a time of adversity. When there is trouble, he will try to save you. But it's not a constant kind of a love which is a good friend. So either there are two ways the commentators speak. Either want to say that a good friend, a loving friend, is good like a brother, which helps in time of trouble, or as I mentioned here, the last one, that a loved brother is more than a loved friend is more than a brother. The brother, yes, is when you'll be in trouble, then you'll come to help. But he doesn't have the same kind of love and connection of a good friend, a loving friend. 18. A person without sense clasps hands, he becomes surety before his neighbor. So it comes here like saying, don't be in a hurry to take surety of money in a simple way, because it can cause trouble, or Some Rabbeinu Yonah says here, interesting, the guarantor is called a person without sense. Why? Because he brings himself to quarrel and strife to litigate with his creditor. It is not customary for the guarantor to pay willingly except when coerced by the court, in view of the fact that he derived no benefit from the creditor. Later, the guarantor quarrels with the debtor to repay him. So, according to this explanation, it actually discourages a person to just be a guarantor, because what happened, I know cases, somebody stood as a guarantor and he paid the creditor for the debtor. The debtor asked him, he has got money, but not always it finishes nicely. Sometimes then, when the creditor, when the one that the guarantor asks you, listen, I stood a surety for you and I pay. When is the money coming to me? And you got 100 answers, excuses, and so on. So you were meant well to help the friend, but sometimes it can cause strife and arguments, which the end won't be such a nice end. I had a case in South Africa. Somebody asked me to lend him. He said, I need urgently, I'm building a building and so on, and it's going to bring a lot of money. I need just 35,000 rand as a loan for a couple of days. This was about 20 years ago. I never saw the money. Obviously, I don't want to see the man either. When I tried to find out what happened, gave the 101 excuses. So, it doesn't mean to say that you should not help a person when in need and to give a guarantee, but you have to either be in your mind that you give it willingly, that you want to help, and if the person doesn't pay back, you accept this is a loss and so on and forget about it. Or when you do give a surety and then you make some safety ways that eventually the money will come back to you.
Now we've
So
got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can. He who delights 19 now. He who delights in transgression delights in quarrels. He who speaks haughtily seeks disaster. So, obviously, talking about not to be haughty, it only can bring trouble. And if you just try to to criticize your person, a friend, it will become result in the quarrel. So you must do know how to do it. Even if you're in good intention, you must indeed do in effect that it's not going to bring the opposite. Okay, we stop here in 19. We'll remerge Hashem next week. 20. Now, Thursday night, you say no shiur, Reuven? You
Well,
want-
it's like Omer. I don't know
Yeah,
what
Lag
you-
BaOmer, Rav. I don't know, Lag BaOmer, maybe not.
All right, Lag BaOmer. Then you learn what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai teaches us.
Rav, thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Then a very good week and a good Shabbos. I won't speak. I see you on Thursday night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rav. Thank you.
Shabbos.
Shabbat Tov.
Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Be well.
Shabbat shalom.
You too.
Thank
Thank you, Harav.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.